We're also joined here today by Jerry Marshall.
Hi.
He's written a book entitled Travels with an Inflatable Elephant, which apparently includes a detailed chapter about his experience as an anti-HS2 campaigner. His opinion of the project may or may not have something to do with the fact that your house, Jerry, is actually in Warwickshire.
I would benefit from it because I'm right on the line. That's true. But this is about national interest.
Well, nothing to do with parochial concerns, of course.
Well, no, because actually we would be better off because we get market plus 10%. But from the beginning, this has been about national interest.
And the point we're seeing here is that HS2 could trigger this serious amount of investment in further and higher education. You've got to welcome that.
Well, I wish Birmingham well. 20 million is, of course, peanuts compared with the massive largesse of HS2. I think it's a bit weird to set up a college for a particular project in what is ultimately a declining industry and a project which will have an end. And I wonder whether
it's just... On the contrary, the business department say they would aim to set this up as a world leader, best practice, a potential export industry of specialist expertise.
Sure, but most of the world are closing their increasingly bankrupt lines. You know, the future, we need to be more visionary than HS2. We need to look at the future, and where we're really falling behind with competitors is in high-speed broadband. You know, we are laughed at by Malaysians who are way ahead of us on that. So, sure, have a college, but the HS2 idea is nuts, and I wonder whether it's just a carrot to stop more local authorities going against HS2 as Solihull did recently. You know, it's something which is £1,000 for every man, woman and child in the UK, and it doesn't meet the capacity needs that, you know, we can meet our capacity needs in a much cheaper way. And it makes no business sense whatsoever.
Cheaper maybe, but it could turn out to be an expensive way of saving money if it turns out, suspend your disbelief for a moment, that we have a new generation of specialists, along with the likes of Germany, Japan and France, people who have high-speed lines, who have latest cutting-edge experience, who can compete on the international stage.
Well, I wish Birmingham had worked on the maglev idea, because that's the technology that Japan are taking forward. And I suspect that before we finish HS2, if we start on it, that technology will have moved on and Japan will be the leaders in a completely different set of rail technology.
But talking of things moving on, doesn't it suggest to you that this debate has moved on when you see we've talked about Crewe and Stoke vying for the station and now this beauty contest for the college? Now increasingly the argument is about who gets the spoils of HS2 on the assumption that it will actually go ahead.
Well, that's the assumption. I quite understand Trisham wanting a station in his area and so on, but you know, you come down to the fact that it is complete nonsense. Even the government say that it only generates £1.40 a benefit for every pound you put in. You know, the Environmental Agency are expected to create £8 of benefits. Now, actually, that is sexed up and wildly distorted by absurd assumptions about not being productive and trains and, you know, if you save 10 minutes, that becomes productive and you don't spend 10 minutes more in bed. So it's a nonsense and we should cut it now.
Jerry doesn't want this investment in further and higher education, for this at least, do you?
I think this is a very exciting project for HS2. It certainly subscribes to Labour's vision that if you're having these big public works projects, actually you want skills to come with them. You want apprenticeships to come with them. You want even a new station in Stoke-on-Trent to come with it. Not only a new station, but a diversion of the line from Birmingham to Manchester, which will shave £5 billion off the cost and work on speed. But you have to have these broader results, these broader skills and learning results from a piece of major public investment like this.
The Association of Teachers and Lecturers, Paul, so it's a poor reflection, really, that these colleges aren't already sufficiently tooled up, even as it is, to deliver the sort of expertise, the engineering that's required for this.
Well, assuming HS2 goes ahead, as you said, Patrick, and I know Jerry's expressed his views very, very clearly on that. In essence, I come from a background, before I came into politics, of construction. If we're going to go ahead with this, we need the skill sets to meet that need. I was at Matthew Bolton College here locally, an FE college, and we have a long history of engineering excellence, and if we're going to continue that, I think actually this dovetails quite neatly with the whole project.
We're both talking in terms of this project going ahead. Jerry has said on previous occasions that the great consensus at the top of British politics is flaky. We've heard about divisions in the shadow cabinet. Let's ask the man in the shadow cabinet where it stands on this project.
No, I mean, the Labour Party is committed to it. We have concerns about cost, understandably, and Ed Balls is rigorous about public finances and always wants to make sure that we can bear down on it. But we're now looking at that period of consultation about the line from Lichfield up to Manchester. And in Stoke-on-Trent, we have very exciting propositions for that.
Will it go? We know about your divisions in your party.
As you know, Patrick, we are a broad church. We always are on so many different issues.
Increasingly broad. This question.
But I think there is a consensus emerging that yes, that it probably will go ahead. And if we're going to have the excellence of engineering that has been, you know, the backbone of UK history, I think if for the 21st century, I see HS2 being very much central and part of that.
It sounds on this evidence as though you're backing a loser.
Business demand for trains is declining. On the West Coast Main Line last week, there was only one other person in the carriage, and that's on a peak time train. Peak time.
Well, that wasn't anything to do with you being in the carriage. That was.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
no, I mean,
good point.
But
about
no.
very crowded trains. There is a capacity issue.
There's a problem with commuter trains into Birmingham and London. We need to deal with that, and HS2 will not help.
OK, thank you. Particular thanks to you, Jerry, for coming in today.
Thank you.